Hey, how's it going? Good morning. I just want to make a quick second video about detachment. I told you detachment is such a huge category when it comes to the universal laws. Detachment. In this video, I want to go into detachment and how to utilize detachment to connect to higher source. You see, when you're able to detach, one of the benefits, I tell you there are a lot of benefits. This is why every time I connect to source and source is conveying, says to me, hey, don't forget, excuse me, says to me, don't forget to convey this aspect of this wonderful law. Give me a second here, my throat's a little boo. Sorry about that. So when you're practicing detachment, there's multiple benefits. I described a few in the last video, and in this video I want to talk about how being able to be detached will allow you to go through your daily routine, okay, and to always choose whether to attach or detach yourself. Attachment is not bad. It's almost like saying that everybody's fully good. We all know the difference between good and evil, the yin and the yang, which is the balance between good and evil in the universe. That's all of us. The universe is inside of us. So we're always applying this. The yin yang is another form of male-female energy. Hard, soft. Okay? Same thing as the yin yang. So whenever you're going through your daily life's circumstance situations, you're always going to be faced with choices. Do I choose to be attached to this? Do I choose to react to this outside stimuli? Do I let it go? Or do I not react to it? Do I attach to it? Do I detach from it? Okay? A lot of times you hear me, just a side note, a lot of times you hear me repeating, and for those who don't understand why I do that, you may think, oh, this fool is just saying the same thing over and over and over again. Yes, I am. But I'm doing that on purpose. If you ever read the book called The Alchemist by Pablo Coelho, you'll learn, that's a great resource. You start to learn, and then once you read that, you start to see that the universe has a funny way of speaking to us through repetition and synchronicity. So I will repeat what what flows or what connects or what is syncing up with the message. So I will repeat the importance of those different parts, different aspects of the message that I'm trying to convey across to you guys in different ways. So that's why you'll see me repeating it and saying it again and again, because it's so important. And because, again, that's how the universe communicates. And that's how our minds learn. That's why in school you hear, you write down like when you're practicing how to do spelling, you write it down multiple times until you get it. When you're doing math, you do it multiple times until you get it. Repetition, synchronicity. Okay? So that's something for you to learn and to recognize. We'll do another video about the universe, about how the universe communicates at some other point. But when going back to detachment, when you're able to detach, like I'm traveling right now to work early in the morning. It's like 7:51 in the morning. You have people driving, back and forth. Some of them, they're just like such in a rush. Sometimes they don't realize that they can cause accidents, and you can attach yourself, like if someone cuts you off in such a way that you have to brake real quickly, which almost, you barely, most of us don't realize that sometimes in those situations, we don't really know how if we didn't brake or something would have, failed in our car, God forbid, how badly that could have caused a major accident, or even worse, a major change in your life. So when something like that happens, you got to choose, do you want to respond to that? Do you want to attach to that outside stimuli by becoming angry or by cursing or whatnot, which is negative? Negative is, like we spoke of the previous video, is a law of vibration. Is resistance and law of vibrations, which is the same thing. So resistance, any kind of form of resistance, is just going to keep us away from our connection, or is going to take us away from our connection if we're already connected from source. And if we're trying to, and like in my last video when I spoke of, the more you're always going through your daily life and being positive, you're taking that energy and you're inputting into the piggy bank of the universe of absolute positivity. And when we know that whatever we deposit will have a positive return in abundance, in multiples. And so when you always have to have that understanding in your forefront of your mind. You don't want to be driving and a person comes across, cuts you off, and you're right away not thinking, because then you become like the 90s, like Bob Proctor did in he did a what do you call that, like a test, and see how many people in the world are whatnot, and 97% of the population are just they're just going through life. They're just going through life. And the 3% of people that rule the world, these are the people that they have third grade education, high school education, some college, and we work for these people. They're millionaires and entrepreneurs, and we're wondering what makes them special. Well, it's not the money, it's not the character, it's not their religion, it's not the race. It's basically their mindset. And this is why, again, the universal interpretation is all about. So I want you guys to understand that, but if that card comes across your path, you want to be able to make that decision, a conscious decision, always being aware of your choices. And and that's why attachment comes into play. And at that moment, you can just like say, I'm gonna detach myself from this outside stimuli that's trying to cause me to react in a negative aspect, because I don't want to put a negative energy into the piggy bank of negativity, because I know then it's gonna be the domino effect. I'm gonna attract more and more of that throughout my day, throughout my week, throughout my month. I don't want that. So I'm gonna wish this individual, I'm gonna be grateful and thankful that this individual got over from one lane to the next lane safe and sound, and that he and everyone else that is traveling gets to their destination safe and sound. And it is so. And it is so. I like to always make that little affirmation, because that is a way of me saying blessing them that they get home safe, which also returns back to bless me. Not that I'm looking for that, but that's how it works. Which comes back in return and blesses me in abundance, and allows me and people that I love to get home, because I'm blessing these other people. You see what I mean? So if I'm attached to that outside stimuli, which will cause me to react in a negative aspect, then I'm gonna be like, oh, this son of a bee, blah blah blah, and blah blah blah, and then I'm just gonna create more of that negative flow, which I don't want. So this is again another aspect of the law of detachment. Detaching yourself throughout your daily routine from negative circumstances, situations, and being aware of the outside stimuli you come across, and being able to utilize the law of detachment to detach yourself at that moment. It's like somebody throwing a punch at you and you block. The more you practice that, the better you get. That's why fighters are better. Their reaction time is much better. If you don't practice all the time, your reaction is going to be slow. So it's it's a muscle. It's like a bodybuilder. And so the more you practice the law of detachment, being in the moment, feeling the greatest moment, or choosing not to feel the negative moment. So you can, with the law of detachment, you can choose you can decide what you're gonna give your attention to and be fully in that moment, or you can detach yourself and choose not to be in that moment, in that negative circumstance or situation, and to not react to the outside stimuli, and therefore you're not attracting that negative. You're just continuously letting it flow away from you, and protecting yourself is a form of protection as well, another benefit. And you just say and then you send out a blessing so that you can receive the blessing in abundance in return. You see what I mean? And that's a great thing to be able to do, because you won't be stressed as much. You won't be worried as much. You won't let outside circumstance, situations, people, or events to dictate how you're going to react, or how you're going to be, or how you're going to feel. Because some people get a kick out of that, just coming at you and seeing that, especially if you get mad at easily. They'll come at you and they're like, okay, I'm going to make this person angry. And that's something that, you know, happens a lot. That's why you see so many people reacting and giving in, or a lot of depression, a lot of doubt, a lot of worry, a lot of fear, could be a lot of concern of what if a person likes you. Am I pretty enough? Am I handsome enough? Am I smart enough? When you're able to detach from what the negative people or circumstance, situations, and events, you can choose what reality you want. So if in your reality you're trying to be more confident, more loving and respectful of who and what you are, then focus on that and only give your attention onto those things, and attach yourself to those things, and be able to also detach to the point that you're not afraid to let go of those things. You're not afraid to experience new things, and because detachment of even positive things in your life, say like a beautiful sunset, or hanging out with some great friends, or somebody you haven't seen in a long time, you know, you let them go, you let it happen, you let it flow, and knowing that you will see them again. And that allows the more greater of those situations, those positive situations, to come into your life in abundance. Until next time, love and peace. This is Ray.